Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. We have the 2020 feature, sports with Brian Camp, and entertainment news with DJ Pete. So settle in with coffee in hand, and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
TGIF, thank God it's Friday, another Friday, and we are coming to you live from New York City. That's where we originate, and we bring you the Coffee Hour. This is where we meet each week. My name is Frank Allan. Thank you so much for joining us for this Friday morning. And each week at this time, in our time right now, our time zone is Eastern, so you may be in a different time zone. Look at your clock, because that's where we come on every week in your area. But we're here, and we're going to be here for the next hour. We thank you so much for being along with us. We've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to get the show rolling. And for those of you who've been around with us for a very long time, well, you already know the protocol, right? We don't have to explain anything to you. So I'm going to take the time to talk to our newer people who may be coming in for today. Well, this is how we do it. As we come in each week at this time, we start conversation going on as the host of the show. That's what I do. And then as we roll along, you can take at any time, type in whatever you want to say. And I will see right there on the big screen. I'll entertain all of your thoughts and ideas and have many of your questions you may have. I'll answer those the best way I can. And even if you want to talk about the show, or maybe there's a certain topic you would like to talk about or elaborate on, we'll certainly entertain all of that. All you have to do, again, let your fingers do the walking. You may be on your computer, you may be on your iPhone or your Android, whatever one that you use, and maybe even a tablet that has a keyboard. Just use that keyboard and type it in. And of course, I'll get a chance to see you, and then we'll talk about it. And some of you may be at work right now, and particularly if you're in the same time zone as I am, and maybe even on the West Coast, right? People going in maybe in a couple of hours to get there. But if you happen to be at work right now and you may be on that coffee break, well, what I want you to do is take that coffee break, sit at your desk, don't roam around, don't talk to anyone, just you and I, all of us and everyone here together, we'll talk together. And what you do is use your coffee break at your desk. Keep the computer on, keep watching us. And then when your coffee break is over, what do you get, about 15 minutes or so? When that coffee break is over, you'll still be at your computer. You can get back to work and you can do what they call multitasking. That's what we do. And so, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are watching us on Facebook, take the time to move the show along, right? And what I mean by that is you can tag all of your friends or some of your friends or most of your friends, or maybe even one friend, as many as you like. The more the merrier. We like them all to come in. They'll see that notification from you and they'll click it on and it'll bring them right to us. They'll see you, they'll see me and others, and they can talk to me, they can talk to you, and they can talk to others. That's what we're all about. We're one big happy family here. And that's how it goes. So please take the time out right now to tag some of your friends on Facebook. In the meantime, for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, because again, we come from 3 different places. We also come on Instagram, but if you're watching us on YouTube right now, I always encourage you to take the time to subscribe to us, right? Take your mouse, take the arrow pointed to where it says subscribe, click onto it, and that's all it takes. No money involved. You don't have to pay anything, no dues, no nothing like that. It's all free. And the benefit of being a subscriber to my YouTube channel is that from here on in, once you do that, you'll get a chance to know whenever we come on live, a notification will pop up. And even if we post a video of some sort, a notification will pop up and you'll get a chance to elaborate and jump on the show. Because when the notification pops up, all you have to do is click onto it and it brings you right to the YouTube channel and you can watch the show. Because, hey, let's face it, a lot of people, they sit back and they watch the show and they may forget about it the next week. And when you see that notification, that, of course, brings you up to date. So there you have it. Glad to have you aboard. And as usual, in conjunction with interacting with you, we do our regular routine right here. We have sports coming up in a few. But keep in mind, Brian Camp is not going to be here to do the sports. So we're going to cover for him today on Sports Update, the latest developments in today's world of sports. Brian is on vacation and he will be back next week. And I hope wherever he is, he's probably on the high seas right now. He took a vacation with him and his wife and his granddaughter. So I'm hoping he's having a good time. Hopefully he's having a good time. You know, there's nothing like a nice cruise just to get away from it all. Good morning, Warren, Greensville, North Carolina. He's got sunny skies out there. You know how I can tell? He sent me emoji. And you know, he doesn't send a complete weather forecast because I don't require that everyone does. But I know there's some sunshine out there. And so that's all. Hey, you could do that. And if you're going to come online, it's pretty cloudy. It's cloudy, partly cloudy. Okay, partly cloudy. I saw just one big sun, so I figured it was just like sun all day. 87 degrees, Greensville, North Carolina. So that's not bad. Partly cloudy is not bad at all. And for the rest of you who are going to join in conversation, we hope that you can do the same thing. It's something that's not mandatory, but we would like you to give us your weather forecast, a little summary. It doesn't have to be long and extensive or anything like that. Just something that we can compare notes with, because we have different weather, different around the country, around the world. Even if you're around the world, it goes in Texas. In Texas, I don't know what part of Texas, but it's raining out there in Texas. I don't know what part of Texas. Texas is big. It can't be raining all over Texas, right? I'm getting a note over there from Instagram. Let's see. This is just a nickname. See, on Instagram, when we get the pop-ups on the name, we don't get regular names. We just get the the usernames. So this username sounds like I am Steady Love. I am Steady Love. Welcome to the show. I am Steady Love. Where are you from? Give us, let us know where you're from. Oh, you're from Texas. Okay, you're from Texas, and it's raining in Texas. I don't know what part of Texas, but we'll just take that too. Thank you so much for that weather report, and for the rest of you too. Let's see. Willis needs rain from Bart. Willis needs rain from Bart. I'm not sure what that means. Willis needs rain from Bart. Is it a Willis, Texas? Is that what you're telling me? Because I'm not really familiar with all of Texas. I know some parts of Texas. Willis needs rain from Bart. Okay, we'll find out what that is. They'll get back to us on that. But for the rest of you, again, if you're not from New York, it is Willis, Texas. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. It is Willis, Texas. And those of you who are going to join in conversation too, please do the same thing. We like to know. We want to compare the notes, except if you're from the vicinity of New York City. If you're from New York City, don't worry about it, because I will take care of that. That's where we originate. We're coming from New York City, and we're going to take care of that for you. You dodged a bullet. But for the rest of you, let's compare notes on our weather. And listen, we got the show started already, so why don't we just do what we normally do? Raise our cups. You know, whatever beverage that you have. I have coffee here, so the adult beverage, well, whatever. Anyway, excuse me while I shoot up. Okay, that's good. That hits the spot. I'll save a little more for later. Anyway, you're just joining us. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour, obviously. And I see a lot of people here, so we just want to talk to them. And anything that you want to talk about, just please feel free at any time. I'll see you. I'll watch you. And later on in the program, before the show is over, I will give you the updates on the movies. You know, I make a collection of movies. Now, a lot of you do things on the weekend, and one of the things that you might want to do is catch up on some movies. I do that every once in a while myself. Catch up on some movies. And I have my pick of the week of movies, right, that I display each week. And I just like to share it with you. Now, a lot of people, the summer is still here, so a lot of people still want to indulge in the summertime activities, barbecuing with friends, or doing any kind of outdoor activities, or maybe you're in an area this weekend where the weather will be a little inclement. and it just won't allow you to go outdoors and stay in, well, catch up on some movies. It'll be a great time to do that. So I have a couple of them later on in the program. I'm going to add to your bucket list of what to watch in the movies. So there you go. Remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, The Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinion of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any social media or broadcast outlet. So there you go. Again, salute, Chinmane. That's Italian for if you want to live 100 years, right? Something like that. We got a few things to talk about, and we're going to get right to all of those things that we want to talk about. So again, later on in the show, we have of the movies and all of those things coming up. Well, just want to talk about one particular thing. Let me see if I can pop that up. I kind of lost one of my scripts, so I'm going to see if I can find it now. I am going to find it. Give me a second, folks. I lost one of them, so I am now going to find it wherever it is. And let's see. And there it is. I see it. There it is. Got it. Okay. That happens sometime. You know, electronically, things drop out and you have to retrieve them all again. So, yeah, so I got it. Okay, so here we go. Wanted to talk about, well, you already know, ladies and gentlemen, there's a, in Hawaii, in Maui, Hawaii, right? You heard about that devastating thing that went on in Hawaii. And you had the brush fire or the wildfire, whatever it is, however you want to call it, it's the wildfire, right? Well, we had that big wildfire. Now, last night, when I was on the air on Talk Back Live, I talked about that wildfire. And at that particular point, the last thing I learned, there were like 35 people who had died in that wildfire. It boosted, and they say it was going to boost it, and it certainly did. We're up to 55 now. 55 people died in that wildfire. And when it started, and I got to tell you, I saw the images. I saw all of the images, and I got to tell you, it was like on land. You know, sometimes you see these fires, they're like up in the mountains, out of reach of harm's way, out of reach of people, you know. And Hawaii is always known for burning fire and things like that, lava and all of that. They're known for that. So I don't know that it's anything new, but it was really devastating, the images that I saw. It was like on the ground. It was so intense at that particular time that people had to jump in the river. If there were nearby water, they jumped in the water to escape it. And it's people lost their houses. People are homeless at this particular point with that. And so they're looking for shelter now. Maybe the fire cleared up in certain spots, but it's still going on right now. It's devastating. 55 people died. Maui, Hawaii. Have you ever been there? I've never been there. Warren, I know you've been to Hawaii, haven't you? I know Brian been to Hawaii. Maybe that's where he is. Hopefully that he's not there, you know. But he's been to Hawaii. I've never been. I would love to go. And that's going to be one of my things that I'm going to put on my bucket list to go there. You know, there's a lot of places I haven't been. You know, we have to, a lot of times I have to stop a lot of trips that I had planned to take. For instance, when the pandemic started, when the pandemic became underway, remember that? And it got real intense. I was ready to go out. I was already booked and ready to go. I was on my way to Italy. I was on my way to France and a couple other places, and I had to cancel everything when that pandemic came in, because at that particular point, especially Italy, it was devastating. I mean, it was wild. So now that everything is kind of like a little more normal than it was before, but keep in mind the pandemic is still here, a little normal than before. It's all right to fly and take trips and things like that and hug people, you know, which I like to do too, you know. So we're back to that. And speaking of the pandemic, keep in mind that even though we're calm right now, but we don't know what's going to happen in the wintertime. We don't know about another surge. We may get another surge. We may get a small surge. We don't know. Nevertheless, there's going to be a new vaccine coming this fall for that. So you want to keep up on all of that. That's coming up this fall. You want to stay on top of all of that. Okay. Let's see. DJ Casper, the creator of the world famous Cha-Cha Slide, has died. The Chicago native lost his battle with cancer on Monday. This past May, Casper sat down in an interview at his home to talk more about the 2 decades of international fame and his health struggles. And it was his last TV interview at that point. Casper died. He was 58 years old. And of course, a lot of you remember the Cha-Cha Slide. There's not a place you can go in the world. And there's a legacy that he left for us. There's not a place you can go in the world. You go on vacation and they have the music pumping outdoors and everybody get in line, that do that little line dance and the Cha-Cha Slide. That's the creator. He was the creator of that. And of course, we're sorry about that. He died from cancer. I think he kept it a little private. I know he lost a lot of weight. And but that last interview, I saw that last interview he did. It was on ABC TV, I believe. And shortly, and that was his very last interview. So we want to say all of our blessings and all of our thoughts to his friends, his family, his co-workers, fellow DJs and rappers and everyone that's associated with him. We want to send our condolences, even to his fans, people like me, you know, I really enjoyed that. And I'm glad that this legacy, he was saying in that interview one time, he's hoping that this legacy, stays forever. And I have a feeling it will, because again, anywhere you go on vacation, the music is pumping, they're going to play that at least once or twice. And you're going to get up there on that line and you're going to follow, jump twice and cha-cha-cha. And yeah, that's great. But we want to send our condolences out to him. And so that's it. Now, I want to talk to all of, you could all listen, but I want to send a little local information. This is a little local information I want to pass on to the New Yorkers here. I see we originate from New Yorkers. And the reason why I want to do this is because, as you already know, I lost my train of thought. Okay. All right. We'll get it back. Okay. As you already know, what was I saying? I'm starting to lose my mind here. In the meantime, while I was thinking, Damon's daughter, that's Warren's brother, stationed in Hawaii. And she's safe. That's good to know. That's good to know. Thanks for passing that on. But this happened in Maui. But it's good to know his daughter is stationed in, I think she's in college, right? Stationed in Hawaii, and she's safe. I'm glad of that. That's great. Keep me updated if anything changes. Of course, you're going to do that, right? Okay, I'm glad about that. Okay. So getting back to what I was saying, oh yeah, the local information that I want to give out to you, I want to do it right quick for people here in New York City. Now, it's going to be expensive to travel even more. Now, already last Sunday, the 6th of August, last Sunday, the tolls up for the crossings, the bridges and the tunnels went up. They went up. And on August 20th, which is a couple of weeks from now, there's going to be a fare hike for the subways and buses. It goes into effect, the MTA subways and buses and commuter rails. And of course, the tolls and bridges, of course, they went up on the 6th. The proposed base fare for the subway and buses is going to raise 5%. In other words, right now, currently, you're paying $2.75 for the bus and the subways. And when that time comes, August 20th, it's going to go up to $2.90. So be prepared for that. Now, as far as a 7-day ticket is concerned, you can buy, a little more on that 7-day ticket. That raised to 3%, $33 presently, and it's going to go up to $1.34. Okay, not bad, right? And for the 30-day ticket, that will rise 4% from $127 to $132. Now, for the express bus, it's $6.75 right now. It's going to go up 4%, so that will make it the even $7 for the express bus. Those big, huge buses. You New Yorkers know what I'm talking about. And the hikes for the MTA says they're leaning towards a split option. Now, you already know for the Easy Pass, right? So everything went up already. So Easy Pass already went up to 6%. And for the mail-at-home credit card payments, went up to 10%. Now, I know I gave you a lot of information right there, but please, if you need all information, I want to send you to the website right now. The website, it's very easy. It's new, N-E-W, new.mta.info. That's newmta.info. Or you can call them at 877-690-5116. That's 877-690-5116 for more information. But rest assured, that fare is going up. So be prepared for it. Please be prepared for it. Okay, as you know, as I already said to you, Brian Camp is not here to deliver the latest developments in today's world of sports. So let's muddle right through this and see what we got going. He's just taking a trip. He doesn't care, and I don't blame him. The Baltimore Orioles lost to the Houston Astros the other night, right? 8-2. I think they're doing good. There's going to be a lot of things. Things may change. So they won that game Wednesday at Camden Yards in Baltimore. And the series opener, remember that series opener for the two teams, two heavyweight teams? That was Tuesday. And the Orioles closer, Felix, I think his name is Felix Bautista. Felix Bautista gave up a grand slam home run to Kyle Tucker in the ninth inning, which propelled the Astros to a 7-6 victory. So the Astros are looking good so far. Again, you know, the season is not over, and I'm praying for my Yankees. I'll do a lot of praying. They're not doing well, but I'm doing a lot of praying anyway. A judge on Wednesday sentenced Henry Ruggs III, a former wide receiver for the Raiders, to at least 3 years in prison for the role of the crash that happened, the crash that killed a woman in Las Vegas in 2021. Ruggs pleaded guilty in May to a felony drunken driving charge for crashing his sports car into a sports utility vehicle. And the lady that was involved in this, her name is Tina Tintor. Judge Jennifer Schwartz sentenced Ruggs up to 10 years in prison with the ability for Ruggs to be paroled after 3 years. And former Florida quarterback Jalen Kitna, Jalen Kitna is taking steps to clear his name at the moment and getting his football career back on track. Kitna, who was arrested last November for a felony charge for pornography, that's child pornography, I may add to that. Charges were eventually dropped in a plea deal and received a lengthy statement. He made a lengthy statement on Friday about it, and it was done on a sports management outlet. And the son of retired NFL quarterback John Kitna, that's his father, he called the initial charges not accurate. The investigation found no inappropriate material on any of his electronic devices, and added that he went through an extensive psychosexual evaluation. Okay, and the 2023 Women's World Cup is now down to 8 teams. You know, I'm going to talk about that in just a few minutes. You know, with 345/666 Beast Incarnate, you know what he did? He went against the U.S. team. But you know, that's another show. Anyway, let's see. They went down to 8 teams with the quarterfinals approaching, and some heavyweights are already on the plane. As a matter of fact, they're all home at this time, including the United States, Canada, Brazil, Germany, And while the U.S. was the only major casualty from the round of 16, the tournament also said goodbye to some of the knockout round debutants in South Africa, Jamaica, and Morocco. And those stories have hopefully inspired a new generation of women's soccer fans from those countries. Now, here's something that you may be interested in. ESPN, we all know about ESPN radio and the website and all that. ESPN is launching an online sports book, putting its brand on a gaming platform for the last time. And it's released on Tuesday afternoon. This information was released Tuesday afternoon, and the Disney property said it would partner with the Sports Battling Group, that's Penn Entertainment, to rebrand Barstool Sportsbook as CNN Bet. That's CNN Bet, and that's going to launch on in the fall. That's coming up in the fall. So there's a little information for you. Birthdays in sports. Okay, we have only one today. I don't know if you're into wrestling. I am, but professional wrestler Hulk Hogan, right, with the big pythons. Hulk Hogan. He was born on this day, August 11th, back in 1953. He was born in Augusta, Georgia, and he's 70 years old today. Happy birthday, Hulk Hogan. And that's this day in sports. Thank you, Brian. And Brian will be back next week, and he'll do his own sports on the show. But in the meantime, we still wish him a lot of luck in his cruise or wherever he is at this particular point. I don't know, cruising, I'm not up to date. I didn't get a call from him or anything. I know one time before he went on the trip, he said he may chime in on the show depending on the Wi-Fi out there. So either he just decided not to do it, or maybe the Wi-Fi is not clear enough. But something, if it were me, I wouldn't bother. I just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Okay, if just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. It's 10:26 in New York anyway. So it's 26 minutes past the hour everywhere. And we're going to be along for the entire hour. Again, those of you who are watching us on Facebook, please take the time to tag your friends right now. Tag them all and let them know that we're on the air. They'll see your notification. They'll click onto that notification. It'll bring them right here to us. And of course, they'll see everyone here, and you can talk to us just as well. And so that's all it takes. That's all it takes. Okay, now speaking of Brian, he just chimed in. He's got 89, there he is, 89 degrees he's got. 89 degrees wherever he is, and sunshine, and he's in Mexico. Mexico, that's what, Brian. Glad you chimed in. We was just talking about you, and I had to check with everything here. And oh, thanks, Brian. I really appreciate it, but not as good as you. I didn't do the sports as good as you did, but there you go. You try. I'm not a sports announcer, so I mean, you're more experienced in that than I am. But anyway, he's got 89 degrees in Mexico. Tell us what's happening in Mexico. Let us, you got the sun shining. Don't drink the water, by the way. So don't drink the water. You're not drinking the water. I hope maybe if you're drinking any water, maybe you can buy some bottled water on the ship or something like that, where, it's safe, but, you don't want to drink, even though the water is nice and clear and blue. And the only people that can drink that water in Mexico are the people who live in Mexico, right? Because they're used to that kind of water. You see, over here where we are, especially here in New York, we're drinking garbage water here. That's why I always drink bottled water. And so if you drink tap water, it's okay. I guess you'll be okay. It's okay because you're used to the tap water here. So us New Yorkers drink the tap water here. We're used to it. If anyone came from Mexico to New York to visit, and they can't drink the tap water, so you got to drink what you're used to. But anyway, ship water only. Ship water only is what he's drinking. Okay, I guess that's safe water. I'm glad you guys are having a good time out here. We're still holding it down here, Brian, here in New York. And as you already know, Brian is here. And Warren is here. And by the way, when we talked about Damon's daughter, we thought she was from college, but she's in Hawaii. She's stationed in Hawaii. And so that means she's in the Army. All right. Now, station can mean anything. It could be stationed in college or stationed in the Army, but she's stationed in the Army. She's in the Army. She's stationed there in Hawaii. And she's in a safe place. It's not in Maui. I would not think it would be in Maui, because that's where the fires are. You ought to see those images. They're terrible. They're devastating. But I'm glad she's fine. And I'm glad she's fine. I'm glad Brian's having a good trip on the good ship Lollipop out there. Okay, we are still here, ladies and gentlemen. And if you have anything to say, that would be great. And you know what I'm going to do? If you're going to be here and you're going to enjoy conversation, just like Brian gave us his temperatures where he is in Mexico. It's looking good in Mexico. I don't know what part of Mexico. Warren gave us his. And I Am Steady Love gave us the weather forecast in Texas, in Willis, Texas. I thank you for that. And those of you out, the rest of you who are going to join in conversation, please do the same thing. Now, I have my weather. I didn't give it yet, so I'm going to give it now in New York. We have 75 degrees outside here in New York City. 75 degrees. And this is what we have going. The weather is not that bad. It's not that bad. It's okay. It's okay. We'll start right here. It's going to be sunny to partly cloudy today. We're going to have a high 86 degrees. Winds will be west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For Friday, it's going to be some clouds. We'll have a low near 70 degrees. So it doesn't say anything about rain right now. Weather tends to change every now and then, sometimes every hour on the hour. Anyway, winds light and variable with some clouds for tonight. Now, Saturday is a different story too. We have scattered clouds. That's what it says, scattered clouds with possibility of isolated thunderstorms developing. And that's all happening during the afternoon. And we'll have partial severe thunderstorms on the horizon. We'll have a high around 86 degrees. Winds will be west at 5 to south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And chance of rain will be 40%. So you have the sun, but scattered sunshine, scattered clouds, in and out. For Saturday night, variable cloudiness with scattered thunderstorms and partial severe thunderstorms may prevail. We have a low 73 degrees. Winds will be south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain will be 50%. And as we wrap up our weekend, we get back to the grind, get back to work, right? We got to do it. Here's your weather forecast. New Yorkers, listen up. Except for a few afternoon clouds, it will be mainly sunny. See, it gets better after the weekend is over. Mainly sunny, and a stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. We'll have a high 88 degrees. Winds will be west at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So that is our weather forecast from New York. And those of you, again, please, give us your weather forecast if you're chiming in and conversation. And again, I want to, send all of my thoughts out to the people in Maui, Hawaii. Brian, you've been to Hawaii. Warren, you've been to Hawaii. I never been there. I understand it's fun to be there. The only thing is that I'll probably be stooped over with all the lays around my neck. But it looks like it's going to be fun. I gotta get back into the travel mode now, because after that pandemic, everybody's back on track. They want to travel again. They're doing flights. I'm not sure what the status is on the flights these days because pilots are going on strike and this and that, and everybody's going on strike. And speaking of strike, the Actors Guild are still on strike. And of course, I stand with them, and they're waiting around to see what's happening. So if you haven't seen any of the shows that you look forward to, that's because the writers are on strike, the actors are on strike, a lot of people are on strike. As I watch TV, I don't see I didn't really see a lot of changes. Not a lot of changes. For instance, in the afternoon here in New York, I like to watch that soap opera. They don't have too many of them anymore, but I like to watch General Hospital, and the episodes are up to date. Every day, the episodes are up to date. They're not showing any reruns or anything. The only time they show reruns is, let's say, for instance, if they are, if they preempt it, right? If they preempt a show for maybe President Biden's speech or something like that, and if they preempt it for that, then the following day they'll probably show, continue or something like that. But other than that, they're up to date with all their episodes, so it looks good. But all of those soap operas, your favorite soap operas, they look like that. I'm not sure about the other ones. I don't know. There are a couple of more on TV. They took most of the soap operas off the air. Some of them were like very popular, but they took most of them off the air. But and then some of the other than that, on the rise, you see a lot of reality shows, which I'm not really into that much. I don't really like reality shows that much. Now, reality shows, the actors do not need to go on strike because they are not scripted. They don't have writers, anything like that. It's like reality. You're just, everything that comes out of their mouth is them and not from a script or anything like that. So until the strike is over, whatever you're getting is what you're going to be getting. So I want to, salute all of my brothers and sisters from SAG-AFTRA. I am a union person. I'm pro-union, and I want to see these guys get what they're due. They're supposed to be getting what they do, and I hope that comes pretty soon. Okay, again, you're just joining us. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour, and we're here, you're there, and we hope that you stay with us for the balance of the show. The weekend is coming up, and as I told you earlier, that later on I am going to be giving you all of the movies that I always look forward to watching myself, that I like them on Turner Classic Movies, my picks of the week for your weekend. If you're so inclined to want to catch up on some old movies, I just want to add some of those movies to your bucket list of what to watch. So that's all coming up pretty soon. And it's all right here on The Coffee Hour, right here. Okay. So that's about it. That's about it. In about 2 weeks, I'm just throwing it out there, and this is for the benefit of all of my brothers and sisters in the radio industry. It's just something that's celebrated each week. It's going to be National Radio Day on the 20th. And the 20th, that seems like a very popular day, the 20th, because that's the day, of course, the subway and bus fare is going to raise up to $2.90, right? That same day. But we'll be selling, but I'll be telling you more about National Radio Day as it comes along. That'll be coming along, just before you know it. We'll talk about that. There's a lot to talk about. I just want to go back in time. As a matter of fact, I want to produce, if I can, if I have the time, I want to produce some radio plays, old and new radio plays, and probably put them on Facebook, because a lot of people today, the boys and the girls of today, do not know what a radio is, an actual radio, because everything is plugged into the ears now. It's just that we walk across the room and we turn on the radio. They don't turn on radios. They have whatever radio stations they listen to is internet radio, and they don't have to turn on the radio. So their mothers and fathers, they turn on the radio. And so we're going to be talking more about that and the birth of radio and how that all started. We'll talk more about that next week not next week, I think it's 2 weeks before it happened, because it's on a Sunday. But of course, when we do the coffee hour, we'll talk more about that. Okay, well, as you already know, we have entertainment news too that we provide for you as well, all through the courtesy of DJ Pete. So I'm kind of lonesome today. I don't have my guys here with me, but that's okay. I mean, I can get through the show. I'm not new to the rodeo at all. So we've got, let's see what we got here, DJ Pete, and let's go down as quickly as possible. And let's see. Yes, okay, here we go. Lucille Ball celebrates a birthday. Oh, she had celebrated a birthday August 6th. That was just a few days ago, Lucille Ball. And Lucille Ball, as you already know, she was the one. She's I Love Lucille. I Love Lucy. Lucille Ball, Desi Arnaz, husband and wife team. Well, anyway, Lucille Ball celebrated her birthday, or would have been celebrating her birthday today. And she died at the age of 77 years old. She was born in 1911, and she died April 26 in 1989. Lucille Ball, you know her as comedy, but believe it or not, Lucille Ball was a serious dramatic actress. You may not have known that. She was a serious dramatic actress earlier in her years. Now, a lot of people always think that some of these actors, as you know them, start from that, but not her. She started as a serious dramatic actress as James Cagney, right? Everybody thought, you know, when he started his career, he was a gangster. He wasn't a gangster. He was a song and dance man, as a matter of fact, and a great dancer too. I mean, you've seen that movie Yankee Doodle Dandy, right? You know, he did his acts on there, and there was a video. I can't remember the name of the movie, but Bob Hope was in it, and him and Bob Hope cut a rug together. But anyway, Lucille Ball would have been celebrating her birthday. She was born in 1911. 1911. That was a very good year. Okay, moving along. Freddie Stack. No, that's Slack. I'm sorry. Freddie Slack was born on August 7th. Who is Freddie Slack? Well, Freddie Slack was born by the name of Wesley. He was born in Wesley, Wisconsin. He was in Wisconsin in the United States, and he learned to play the drums as a boy, and later he took up the saxophone or the xylophones, you know, the kind of instrument that Lionel Hampton played and Sammy Davis played. So he was involved. I would assume he was involved in the jazz field. Doesn't say here, but I'm probably thinking that he was. But anyway, he's if he's not a household name, you don't know who he is. We introduce you to him. He was born in 1910 and he passed away August 10th, which would have been yesterday, his death, the anniversary of his death. August 10th in 1965, he was 56 years old. So happy birthday there. And moving right along, we've got Stan Freberg. Nice chime, nice ring. Stan Freberg. And that was he was born Stanley Freberg, and he was born August 7th back in 1926. And he passed away April 7th in 2015. He was an American actor, author, comedian, musician, radio personality, puppeteer. Boy, he did it all. And advertising creative director, he did it all. He was a man of all talents. Anyway, we salute him. Happy birthday. When he died, he was 88 years old. And as we move right along, on August 8th, Lucky Millinder. Lucky Millinder. Who's Lucky Millinder? Okay, I'll tell you who's Lucky Millinder. Lucky Millinder was an American swing and rhythm and blues band leader. All right, I learned something new every day. All right, when I thought I knew it all, I didn't know anything. Although he could not read or write music, he couldn't read or write music, and a lot of them did in those days. Even Louis Armstrong played by ear. He learned the trumpet on his own, and that's the way a lot of those musicians did back in those days. But anyway, that was his forte. He was a R&B band leader, rhythm and blues band leader. He was born August 8th in 1910, and he died September 28th in 1966. He was 56 years old when he passed away. Jimmy Witherspoon. We all know Jimmy Witherspoon. Jimmy Witherspoon was born August 8th. Jimmy Witherspoon, he was a vocalist, and I think he was a jazz vocalist, as a matter of fact, or a rhythm and blues vocalist, right? Jimmy Witherspoon, he was born in Arkansas. And his father was a railroad worker who sang in local choruses, and his mother was a piano player. So he was well-versed in music. He had a musical background. And of course, we remember him born on this day, on the day August 8th in 1920, and he passed away September 18th in 1997 at the age of 77 years old. Harry Mills. I don't even have to, I know Harry, I don't know him personally, never knew him, never met him, but we all knew Harry Mills. Harry Mills of the Mills Brothers. Yes, he would have been celebrating his birthday the 9th of August. He was born in 1913. Now I can I don't have to read anything here. I can ad-lib this because I know all about that. The Mills Brothers. And Harry Mills was kind of the leader. They all had great voices. They all, they think they would like, I think four brothers. And one of their signature songs was called Up the Lazy River. They played everywhere. They were on the Dean Martin show a couple of times. Dean Martin had them on the show a lot because Dean Martin even said it himself. Dean Martin admired Harry Mills. And you know how Dean Martin, when he used to sing his song, he used to do that swaying back and forth, you know, snapping his fingers back and forth. Frank Sinatra did it too. That was because they admired Harry Mills. And Harry Mills was famous for that with his brothers, and they swing and sway, you know, just like that. You know, put a little style, a little ring-a-ding in your music, right? So he was like, Dean Martin was really, really loved Harry Mills, and they worked together a lot. And so happy birthday in heaven to Harry Mills. Okay, Ronnie Dawson. Ronnie Dawson was born on this day, the 11th. He was born today on the 11th. Ronnie Dawson. And there he goes. Ronnie Dawson was a rockabilly singer. He was born August 11th, 1939. So today would have been his birthday. He died September 30th in 2003. And he was born in Dallas, Texas, and he died in Dallas, Texas. I guess he had a love for Texas and all of you Texans out there. You know, so happy heavenly birthday to Ronnie Dawson. August 11th, on this day again, back in 1954, Joe Jackson was born. Okay, Joe Jackson. Joe Jackson, Joseph Jackson, an English musician. He was a singer, songwriter, and he played the saxophone. And he was born on this day, and he's still alive and kicking today. I'm happy to say about that. He's 68 years old today. Happy birthday to Joe Jackson. And many, many more, and keep the music alive. That's what we all do, keep the music alive. Okay, Buck Owens. Buck Owens. Now, Buck Owens was born on the 12th, which will be tomorrow. He was born in 1929. Now, Buck Owens was in the realm of rockabilly as well. He was a singer, songwriter, band leader. And Buck Owens and the Buckaroos. He had a group called the Buckaroos. Buck Owens, and he was born August 12th in 1929, and he died March 25th, 2006. He was 76 years old. So we say keep it all alive. Okay, finally we have Mark. How would you pronounce this? Knopfler. Mark Knopfler. Okay. Now this is a new name to me, just like I'm pretty sure it is to you, but I guess DJP know all about these guys, or he looks them up. Anyway, he was a British singer, songwriter, musician, and record producer. He was born in Scotland, and he was raised in England. He was the lead guitarist. He played lead guitar, singer, and songwriter of the rock and roll band Dire Straits. Ha! I know Dire Straits. And he was born August 1949. He's 73 years old today. He's still alive and kicking. So happy birthday to you and many, many more. And keep the music alive. Thank you so much, DJ Pete, for providing that information with us. And thank all of you for being with us on. Now, I have some birthdays too, ladies and gentlemen. They are not quite a lot, but here we go. Birthday celebrated today, songwriter Kenny Gamble. Kenny Gamble, you know of him. He's 80 years old today. He's alive and kicking. The following people are no longer with us, but we salute them anyway. Journalist Carl Rowan would have been 98 years old today. Writer Alex Haley, the author of Roots and the autobiography of Malcolm X, would have been 102 years old. TV show and TV talk show, Mike Douglas would have been 103 years old. And actor Lloyd Nolan, if you remember the show with Diane Carroll, Julia, well, he was in that show. He would have been 121 years old. So happy birthday to all of you. And many, many more. Now, for those of you who like to get in contact with me, please don't feel free about it. It's okay to do that. And I have two sources how you can do that. All you have to do is you can either email me or you can call me, one or the other, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I never sleep. Well, maybe a nap or two, but you could also email me. I'll give you the email address first. That's Frank Allan Prod. Spell Allan, A-L-L-A-N. Very important. You spell it any other way, you'll never get through. Frank Allan Prod. Prod is P-R-O-D. That's short for Productions. Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. Or you can call. The number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Again, that's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Now, those of you who wish to get in touch, you can use one of those sources. And maybe there's something that you want to talk about as far as maybe, let's say, you want to critique the show or you want to know more about the show. We'll be happy to tell you more about the show. It's okay. And even if you just want to say hi, that's okay too. You want to say hi? That's okay too. You can do that as well. And you can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You could leave a message when you call too. You know, when you call, you can leave a message as well. You know, email me, call me, either one, it doesn't matter. It's okay by me. Just get in contact with us because we love to hear you. Because a lot of people, when they watch the show, they don't always want to, you know, talk. But you can still get in touch with me that way. So let me give you that email address again, Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. Or call me at 641-715-3900. The extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. And there you have it. Okay, it's time for me to give you all of those movies that I talk to you about each week. I have my picks of the week. And of course, my picks of the week, we always invite you to use these movies in case you want to watch movies over the weekend, catch up on some movies. That's swell, and we'd love to oblige you with that, because it's always fun to do that sometimes. Sometimes you may be in a funky mode with as far as the weather is concerned. And of course, you may want to use that time to catch up on some movies. So let me give you the movies that I have. I'm going to do that. Let's go back to 1953. 1953. Remember Shane? It's a nice Western starring Allan, Ladd, Jean Arthur, and Van Heflin. Van Heflin. Again, that's Allan, Ladd, Jean Arthur, and Van Heflin. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can check that out Friday. That's tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. And it's a nice Western. It's in color. And back in 1953, Shane. Here's another one that I think you're going to like. And this is a classic as well, but this is in black and white. It's a classic back in 1956 called Somebody Up There Likes Me, starring Paul Newman and Pier Angeli. Pier Angeli. Now that's Italian. All right. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. And you can see that on Sunday at 3:30 p.m. And that's called Somebody Up There Likes Me. Paul Newman. Paul Newman is playing the part of Rocky Graciano. Rocky Graciano. His story, Rocky Graciano. Okay? So I think you're going to like that. And Paul Newman is not through yet, because you could also watch Cool Hand Luke back in 1967 with Paul Newman and George Kennedy. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's on Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And of course, those are the three movies I like. Now, you could also go to Turner Classic Movies. Go to Turner Classic Movies. You know why? Because if you go to Turner Classic Movies, you might find movies that I didn't mention. And the reason why I didn't mention it is because these are only my picks of the week. These are my picks. They may be more that you like. And there may be more that you see there that you kind of want to take a shine to and watch them. You can do that. All right. But and that's why I direct you over to Turner Classic Movies and go through the program guide, and you can check out whatever movies are available too. And of course, when I give you these movies, they don't overlap each other. And I purposely do it that way because I don't want that to happen. So you can watch all of these movies and it's in entirety. You can do that. And so, also, while you're there, go on to Movie on Demand. They have a lot of movies too, from A to Z, movies that you can check out and you can see for yourself, movies that you haven't seen in a long time, starting from the 1930s up to the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, so forth and so on. Movies that you haven't seen in a long time to jog your memory. They're there, they're all there. And there are a lot of movies, you know, so you have your choice of that. Also, while you're on demand, you can watch some of the sporting events that you probably missed. And let's say, for instance, if you missed a sporting event like wrestling or something like that, like I like, if you missed any of those, you can always go back on demand the following day and watch it again. Sometimes, not all the time, sometimes without the commercial interruptions, but they want to sell. So look forward to the commercials. So I don't want to make this a gospel thing, you know, that you won't watch any commercial free, nothing is free. But in some cases it happens because I've seen it. And they have a lot of great things, documentaries. They have all the networks there, and the children documentaries and cartoons and all of those things that you like. It's all there. And I love documentaries. They have a lot of them. Just go on the networks to see what they have available. If you like some of those Lifetime movies, you can go onto that network and see what's available there. And many, many other things that you may want to indulge in. They're all right there for you. So please, you know, go there. So let me give you those movies once again. All right. I got Shane, Allan, Ladd, Jean Arthur, and Van Heflin. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And you also have Somebody Up There Likes Me, starring Paul Newman and Pier Angeli. And that's 1956. That's on Turner Classic Movie as well. And that's on Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Also, Cool Hand Luke, starring Paul Newman and George Kennedy from 1967. That's Turner Classic Movies, and that's on Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. That's going to wrap it up for me. My weekend is officially underway. So with that, I'm going to say all of you to join me back here on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for Talk Back Live. Brian Camp, he'll be back from vacation. He'll be with me with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And then meet me back here next week again for more of the Coffee Hour. Brian Camp will be here as well. And we'll get together and we'll talk. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and I will catch you all back here soon. Take care of yourself. Bye.
You've been watching the Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Coffee Hour.